Episode 211 of the TV Dudes podcast, recorded November 28th, 2018.
Self-actualization.
All right, we're back, guys. And guess what? Kyle is here.
Hello.
And Kyle's a married man.
I know. I got made honest. Got locked down. I went on a honeymoon and drank tons of watermelon daiquiris, which is just a boozy watermelon slushie.
Sounds all right. Where'd you go?
Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic. We stayed at one of those all-inclusive resorts where, just all the food, all the booze is free. And I took a ton of $2 bills because you know how you tip a guy $1?
Dude, you make it sound like a strip club. What's going on with this?
What's better than tipping somebody $1? Tipping them $2, especially in a place where they don't have $2 bills, but they can spend them. It was a big hit.
Did anybody question whether they were real tender?
I wondered that at times because I was like, there was a lot of people who were like, "Oh, cool," but I wonder how many people were like, $2?
Is that real?
Throw this away.
Could you just give me 2 ones instead?
I dropped about $100 in $2 bills.
So I've just had a realization that's TV related.
Okay.
You know, sometimes you're your friends, you want to say what they would be in each cast.
Mm-hmm.
Parks and Rec. This is our Tom Haverford right here. That's a Tom Haverford move. If you had a code name for the twos that you gave, that would be even better. I call them twosies.
You see how he adjusts his glasses? That's
I'll give a tip.
It makes it rain twice as fast. But he's drinking apple teenies. I'm sorry, watermelon teenies.
Have you ever been
straight off the Scrubs cruise
compared to somebody and you're like, wait, the person's kind of cool. Just go on.
Yeah.
Go on.
It's not a bad thing. You're our Tom Haverford. I've decided.
It works for you. We're all married now.
Yeah.
Yes.
You did it. How's married life?
It is fantastic.
Well, don't you know?
I don't know.
There was this point during the ceremony where it was kind of a cloudy day, and it's like that thing in movies where the clouds parted, and then just a little ray of light shined through. And
that was God approving.
No lie, I leaned over to Shannon and I whispered, "Guess who decided to show up?" But it's weird. I don't know. Everybody's kind of making fun of me because I did a Bible verse, and they're like, "Now Kyle's a super Christian." But I do feel like there's this grace to being married. You know, beforehand, I don't know. You're scared about things, but now it's now you're on the good side.
I'm just happy we can finally divide into childless and childed when it comes down to podcast softball.
Yeah,
That's true. That's true.
Now we have a different split at the table.
Shirts and skins.
Yeah. Get ready, guys.
That's right.
I'm not. That's a weird threat for me.
We've been training our kids to play softball.
I was just thinking, oh crap, I don't have any softball skills, nor do I have a deep bench, and y'all do.
Well, the question that I was this is going to sound really weird, but now that I'm married, we're technically a family. So does that mean we have access to the family restroom? And if it's completely closed up, does that mean just every family restroom now is
no,
do whatever zone?
No, the family restroom is kind of like the carpool lane.
Yeah.
You can take a dummy in there or a stuffed toy, and you can still use it.
No, wait. You have to have a kid to go into the family one. Or
No, it's just like the
technically a
carpool
family,
lane.
you know?
Yeah, I feel like as a 40-year-old childless person, society generally that's a family is an extra person. You are currently cohabitated singles that are legally bound, but then you have a child and suddenly you have access to a bunch of extra fun stuff
if you have a child or an invalid, someone else you need to help in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
that bathroom is a perk of never sleeping again.
But
from what I understand, I don't know a whole lot about raising kids, but from what I understand,
guys are
you
really
give up
killing my
all your
fantasy.
sleep and you get amazing perks like that bathroom.
amazing so
perks.
good.
That one bathroom.
That the kids' parking spots at the grocery store.
yeah.
Oh man,
That'd be a great sitcom name, Amazing Perks.
Don't use our family bathrooms to go take your spouse
so
and
you get the family bathroom?
bone in there.
Not a
We're-
conjugal bathroom.
I don't know
Kyle.
what's. Yeah, it's not
Your
a conjugal
newlyweds are
bathroom.
fucking it up for the whole.
Folks, This week we are talking about what we got on the agenda here. We're going to be talking about Always Sunny. Wrapped up, it's like
13th season.
Billionth season.
It's crazy.
13th. And we're also going to be talking about the Kominsky Method over on Netflix.
Chuck Lorre's new joint.
Everyone's excited there. And then Little Drummer Girl over on AMC, which is
not a Christmas show.
No, it's a very uplifting tale. I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna love that one. But yeah, before we get into all that, we are the TV dudes. I'm Grant,
I'm Randy.
Kyle.
I'm Les.
and you know what? I'm gonna skip our normal plugs. You guys know where Patreon is. You know where
Electric
iTunes
sweater.
is. Okay, you get that in real quick. And let's go ahead and jump into the news, Randy.
Okay, so the big story this week is that Cowboy Bebop is getting a live-action series on Netflix. And that its original creator is going to consult on it. This is huge.
I've never seen Cowboy Bebop.
Well, you love anime. I'm surprised that it's not. It's not
Shocked,
You don't
Grant.
have like the box set.
I saw a bunch of people whining on the internet because, you know, that's what us geeks do.
that's what the internet's
we
for.
bitch and complain all the time.
Yes.
Anime fans never complain about anime being remade. Though,
You got more of a thing you like, so it's got to be awful. Like anything moving forward is obviously non-canon, not
Well,
sacrosanct.
I don't know if you know this, Les, but putting English words into an anime and making it real people ruins everything.
What I loved is I saw somebody complain about this by using a still image from I think the Netflix Death Note. But like,
How
as a,
dramatic.
and I wanted to like, I don't know if you're making like a meta joke or if you don't see
Right.
it, but like that one didn't go over well. Like,
Right.
I couldn't tell if they were
Yeah,
undercutting their own point or really driving it home.
I think the point
They
is
were super mad about Bebop being made though.
like here's the thing: Bebop, it could be terrible. It's possible. If so, the anime is just fine. It's not going to do anything, and it's not like there was more Bebop coming that this will somehow ruin.
Not once has anybody ever come to my home and taken away the original from anything, like when they did the remake. But
Yeah.
also, I am biased on this one. I want to see what happens with it because a friend of the show, Javi Grillo Marks Watch.
Oh, wow.
Middleman is in the writers' room for this. He's not the showrunner. I believe Christopher Yost.
Christopher Yost, who is also great, and the writers include Andre Nemec and Josh Applebaum.
Yes.
Who we've interviewed.
They've been working on this for a long time.
And they those guys did a little thing called Ghost Protocol, which is one of the best action movies ever
Little
done.
thing called Happy Town,
Yeah,
And a thing called Alias.
and a thing called Alias.
October Road.
Jeff Pinkner, Scott Rosenberg, names I
Jeff
recognize.
Pinkner?
Jeff Pinkner.
From Lost? Okay.
Yep. Con Air. Beautiful Girls.
I mean, this is a
Human IMDb over here.
I just talked to all these guys about different projects, so I really want to talk to all of them again about Bebop. Hopefully.
This is a great. I mean, that's a great run up of writers, and the original creator is consulting. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about this, and I have not seen all of Bebop. It's one of the few animes I like, and I've actually seen
I really
a
liked
handful
it.
of episodes, and I think it's really well done. But yeah, I'm excited about this.
Yeah, I think that anime's garbage. Remake every anime into live action, and I might find it at least slightly digestible.
I feel like if people can let go of whatever, like, nah, it's a remake. Everybody who's been clamoring for more Firefly, like,
Oh yeah,
Bebop is bounty hunters in space. Let's
Yep.
have fun with it.
yeah.
Cool.
Sad news: SpongeBob SquarePants creator Steven Hillenburg passed away at age 57.
It's kind of young.
That is kind of young.
I usually have that rule where like someone has, if anyone's over about like 68, I'm like, if I don't know him, I'll have to mourn him.
Like you didn't give a shit that Stan Lee died.
No, I mean I don't know.
Is he so old?
The dude had a great legacy. He's in all sorts of films. He's not gonna die from the MCU because I'm sure they filmed a bunch of shit. So the old feeble Stan Lee who is suffering, I think it's probably for the best that he passed away,
And
right?
he got to die a hero.
He's in the
We
framework
never got
now,
to see him live long enough to become a villain.
That's true.
Like, wasn't he being abused and shit? Oh,
Yeah, there was some bad shit going down.
yeah. So
Yeah.
you know,
It was still sad that he died. But I get where you're coming from.
yeah.
I'm
I'm just kind of a robot.
I was just making fun of you.
okay.
But I don't like SpongeBob SquarePants.
The show.
Yeah.
I never really got into it and watched it a bunch. I just know
Yeah,
like
it was after me.
for I think people a little bit younger than me, so maybe Kyle. Yeah. And a little bit older than me who were like stoners in college, SpongeBob was very instrumental for it.
Yeah.
Well, what's interesting, that character design, if I watched the Science of Fun, the Funko Pop one, and they talked about how Funko Pops are designed with like this principle of like the big eyes and the small head. It's like this cuteness, this thing we see in babies that naturally attracts us to it. So when that came out, I could see that kind of fulfilling, like, oh, people really find this character cute and it's bright yellow and yeah, it's appealing, especially if you're in that demographic.
I only really knew about SpongeBob because Tom Kenny is the voice. And,
Right.
And I had to go find this show because I couldn't wrap my head around like Mr. Show, Shakes the Clown, like Tom Kenny was the voice of like this huge children's cartoon. And it still baffles me.
Wasn't he the voice in Rocko's Modern Life, too? Am I wrong about that?
I think so. I think he might have.
Tom Kenny, man.
Anyway,
he's the pirate at the start of the
page.
he's actually the live pirate at the start.
One of my kids was real into SpongeBob for a while there, and I could not stand it. It's just not my thing. But it's been really useful for memes.
Yeah.
Like, you see SpongeBob everywhere.
Yeah. So he lives on there.
I think it'd be cool if that guy got buried under a pineapple.
Under the sea?
Yeah. Or in a pineapple under the sea.
Definitely to be morbid, but I got to wonder if it's a burial at sea.
Yeah.
I wonder if the pineapple will be like a good preservative for him.
Interesting. I just got through drinking a lot of drinks out of pineapples.
Okay,
on my honeymoon.
we're just riffing here, guys.
Just riffing.
I'm going to move on.
The dynamics of a pineapple.
Lead us away, Spartacus.
So Netflix is also doing a bunch of animation, including a Roald Dahl universe. So animated versions of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the BFG, Matilda, and more.
Give me the Twits. That's what I want.
The Twits?
Yeah, the old couple that like play progressive like fucked up pranks on each other.
I don't remember this.
It's an old married couple, and they're just miserable to each other. And witches.
I want more witches, especially considering Nicholas Roeg died this past week.
And did you see the big Twitter post from Guillermo del Toro, where he wrote all the different scripts that he's
like the
mapped
drawer,
out?
like the 12 or 16 scripts that are in a drawer, where he's ideas, scripts, done.
Yeah, fully fleshed out, like planned everything, revisions and all of it. It's good to go. And The Witches was one of the first ones he listed.
Yeah.
So, man.
I loved that movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of don't want new versions of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and all that, even in animation. But yeah,
they can leave Willy Wonka
stuff
alone for me at this for a little while at this point. They keep hammering at it, and I don't think it's been working lately. But Roald Dahl in general, dive into that shit. That's some dark, weird stuff.
Yeah, that sounds great. They should stay away from the ones we know and go around a little bit like the Twits.
Yeah, do the Twits.
Yeah, do the Twits. Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Last bit of news. It turns out that nobody wants to watch shows on YouTube.
Oh no.
YouTube plans to make its originals free to watch with ads from next year.
Because no one wants to have to do the sign up. And they already have one of the best integrations of ads.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they?
That's what was baffled me about YouTube's premium was like none of their shows. Cobra Kai was an amazing surprise, but otherwise their shows were really good, but not quite as good as like Amazon, which still wasn't quite nailing it.
Yeah.
But they were like $12.99. I mean, like
it was
their price point was too much.
Well, here's the thing. It sounds like also that they're going to maybe be cutting back on their budget. So maybe their original stuff may be phasing out, but they are already doing a second season of Cobra Kai, second season of Impulse.
We just watched that trailer for Wayne last week.
Wayne looks good. And there's an anthology series called Weird City produced by Jordan Peele.
Okay.
Which I didn't know about.
Jose Molina's writing on that. That
looks
good.
Is that where the weird science kids go to college in the city?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. I'd watch that.
It's like X-Files, but Michael J. Fox.
Weird City.
Honestly, all I care about is we get more Cobra Kai.
Yeah, Cobra Kai was great, and there's definitely a season 2 of that.
Well, you will.
Yeah.
But you are going to have to watch some ads for Quicken Insurance or some shit.
I would rather watch the ads than pay $12 a month for it.
Yeah.
Even if I'm not the one paying for it.
It's so funny because like the Netflix model, I'm sure has everyone else in the industry wanting to be like, oh, we need to be able to provide this without ads. People don't want the ads. That's what they always complain about.
Yeah.
And we're going to complain about it, but you guys already have a model that it's going to work better. We don't want to pay for like if it's paying versus no ads, I think a lot of people will deal with an ad.
It's going to be interesting figuring out where that line is.
Yeah.
I also would really like them to figure out an algorithm on streaming services that doesn't show me the same ad 9 times.
Oh man,
yeah.
Have you ever gotten it where it shows like 9 times consecutively
Yes.
before the next.
Yes.
Like,
Oh my God.
I had one where all 5 were a Mattress Firm commercial.
Yeah.
Watching AMC,
in the break.
the Dell laptop had one where they boost the volume twice as loud as everything else.
Oh, I hate that shit.
Then you're in the other room like, brr, 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 brr. Oh.
Walmart's
Yeah.
got one that they kept ringing a doorbell, and I wanted to kill them.
Every so often, though, there'll be an ad pop up that's like funny or weird, and I'm like, I want to go find the ad so I can show people what I just watched.
Right.
I'm like, that's what I need. I'm like, I want to make a joke about this, but nobody's here watching this with me. I really need to put this ad up so I can tell someone this funny joke I
Yeah,
thought
thanks
of.
to the CW for a little while, I felt like I was going to start quoting Discover Card ads.
Yeah.
And no one was going to know what the fuck I was talking about. They kept having all these ads with twins or the same person in each. It was, they played it over. It was one of the ones they kept playing consecutively during breaks.
We no longer have that like shared like commercial language.
Yeah, you'd be like, did you see that ad? They're like, no, I saw this other ad 5 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't go, I'll call them tomorrow. No, you'll call them today.
I saw someone complain online about not some movie coming out this weekend, and they were like, I haven't seen a single trailer or ad or anything. No one I know even knows this movie's coming out. And it was one of the trailers that one of the streaming apps has been hammering on me. And I mean, I want to be like, if you haven't seen the trailer for Possession of Hannah Grace, I can quote it to you straight through.
All right, folks, so we're going to be talking about It's Always Sunny, Season 13, and then we're going to jump over to the Kominsky Files or Kominsky Method. The Kominsky Squad. And then we're going to do Little Drummer Girl. But before that, Always Sunny is on its 13th season.
Yep.
It wrapped up on the 7th, so a couple weeks ago, with its big episode 10, Mac Finds His Pride. And
Which is not about lions.
this
Though
season,
Frank has a cat eye guy.
this season, Randy, you and I have both finished this.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about it all the way through.
Yeah.
What did you think? What was your overall impression?
So when I started off, I thought the opening with Mindy Kaling and doing like the Trump stuff was kind of funny, but I was like, it's funny. And then they did the riff on the drinking on the airplane.
They did it on the Wade box.
Yeah.
And I was like, they were all solid, but I was like, oh, did they finally kind of lose it this season?
Right.
And I stopped watching for a while. And then I went back and powered through the last like 5. And the answer is no, they did not, because the back half is fantastic.
Yes. That's why I kind of came away from this too. Like, I thought, okay, it was like the first episode, it was all right. The second episode with the gang escapes, the escape room kind of thing.
Yeah, the escape
I
room.
liked that one a bit more.
It was cute.
But then it was like 2 or 3 or 4 episodes where I was just kind of not feeling it as much. I'd always get a good chuckle here or there from it.
Yeah, it's never bad.
The gang solving the bathroom crisis.
Oh, man.
That one was pretty funny.
That one I liked. That one I liked, but that always feels a little on the nose when they start addressing the social problems in that way, where it's like a little too meta. And I was like, I don't know. It was good, but not their best one.
Right.
But then,
the clip show. What did you think of the clip show?
oh, I loved the clip show because I thought they were legit going to do a clip show.
Yeah, well, I mean,
But
they kind of start doing
But
it.
instead, they did this weird Inception thing where they're starting talking about how when they screw up memories, it changes reality.
Yeah.
And it gets weirder and weirder.
I kind of wish they would have pushed it further
Oh, yeah,
than
sure.
they did.
I would
Like,
have loved if there was an animated sequence or something.
Yeah, I thought, like, once they started kind of going in that direction, I'm like, oh, you guys could really go balls out weird with this. And
I love anytime we get an insight into where Charlie's thoughts are at. So anytime we're seeing what Charlie World looks like,
Right.
I'm all for that.
the multiple Charlies.
Yes,
Yeah,
the
it's
multiple
good stuff.
Charlies. Yeah, that was really funny.
But then we get to the game.
Oh, man, the 2-parter around the Super Bowl was phenomenal.
Charlie's Home Alone
Yep.
had one of my favorite, like, just his whole sequence with
Yes.
him and doing the whole Home Alone
Doing the Home Alone thing
was just great. Him getting trapped in the bear trap, and then just like everything just getting so fucked up and gross.
What's funny about it is that Home Alone is such a grotesque movie.
Right.
Like what goes on to those bank robbers is torture. And to see Charlie, an adult man, put himself through it in a way that is a little less cartoonish, but still cartoonish.
Yeah.
Him in the bear trap with the hallucinatory football players being like, "You're gonna have to put your leg back in that bear trap." Like
You
that was
realize
funny.
that we only know this because you know this, Charlie. Okay, but where's the release on the bear trap? You know this. Do you really want me to tell you?
Yeah. And I mean, just him having to do all these things because he thinks it's what'll make the Super Bowl win.
Oh yeah,
So good.
yeah.
And then the second part is the other side of that with the gang and the skybox and all that. And
Also pretty solid how they
Also
tie
pretty
that all
solid.
together. I want to jump back to the one where the gang gets the new wheels.
Yeah.
Because I thought that I wasn't as taken with the role reversal of Mac and Dee based on who has a Land Rover, I guess.
right,
I'm like,
yeah.
that's okay. But what they did with Mac and Charlie, where they get the bicycles and then they get their bikes stolen.
yeah.
The culmination of that was one of my favorite things this whole season.
Yeah, that was
where
really
they go and beat up the little kids,
Yeah.
and it's fucking brutal.
Yes.
Just the fist going into that little kid's
Yes.
face and just slow motion shattering his jaw,
Yes.
throwing him up against the wall, and they're like, "I think you might have actually killed that kid. You
Yeah.
might have murdered him."
It is always sunny at its darkest, and that's always fun.
The whole build up of like that happens, and then the car accident, and everyone has to pile into the car.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is what I appreciate about Always Sunny is when
Yeah.
they kind of have everything culminate at the end of an episode with like how fucked up all of them are, but they're this weird dysfunctional family.
Yeah, for sure.
And then of course we should talk about that final episode.
Yeah, so the whole thing with Mac Finds His Pride, it's interesting to see Frank confronting his homophobia in like this weird way where he's trying to help out his friend.
Mm-hmm.
I loved them going to like these increasingly weird like leather bars and all this kind of stuff where Frank's like, "You like this stuff, right?" And he's like, "No, I'm not this kind of gay."
Right.
I thought that was interesting. The thing that surprised me was at the end when they did this big elaborate dance number, which is really impressive. I kept expecting the joke.
Yeah,
Because we had that
not played for a joke at all.
We had that big dance number a few seasons back where they cut back to what was really going on, and it was so hilarious.
Yeah, and
I kept expecting that.
instead it's like, oh no, they are very sincerely going with what's going on with the torment of actually coming out, and it's a very big shift in tone for a show like this.
Yeah, it worked. I thought it worked really well.
But I mean, I don't know. In part, I agree with you. Like, I don't know if they've earned such a shift in tone because they don't do that.
Yeah.
that's very not typical over 13 seasons for them to be very earnest about something serious like that.
Yeah.
And they did it here, and I think it's beautiful. Like upon reflection, but I agree with you. It's kind of like, all right, where's the punchline?
Yeah, I was waiting for the punchline too. But I think that the reason it works, they've had 13 seasons.
Yeah.
And so you can do it once. Mm-hmm. If they keep doing it, then it's not going to work. But I think that's why it works is because we were waiting for the joke.
It is one that I just keep thinking about.
Yeah.
So it was a beautiful moment.
It kind of makes me think about when Charlie brought out the musical and they all just stood there and like, no, we understand you wrote a musical, but who's the mark?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Like, no, so you're coming out. That's great, but who against? Like, who's the mark?
Right. No, it's just he had a really difficult time except like being forward about who he was, and he does it in this like really beautiful way, and his father rejects him, and it's like, oh shit, this is like really heavy.
Honestly, Mac finally admitting that it is the Ross and Rachel of this show. Like, that's the only the will they won't they that I really give a shit about.
Yeah.
In this
The
show.
only other one I need now is that Dennis is a legit serial killer.
Yes, I want to know if Dennis is a serial killer.
I'm sure he is.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and jump over to talk about the Kominsky Method over on Netflix. This is Alan Arkin and Michael Douglas doing old people Franken or
I thought it was going to be Grace and Frankie. It's a
Grace
little
and
more
Frankie.
Californication.
Yeah.
You know, I was getting kind of some Curb Your Enthusiasm vibes at moments.
A little bit of that. So,
I think that's partly because it is such a better sitcom than I thought Chuck Lorre was going to do. It is a lot closer to like a Curb level.
I did not know Chuck Lorre had this gear. I'd only watched one episode, and I wasn't going to watch any of it. I watched the first 10 minutes, and they got to this bit where Alan Arkin and Michael Douglas are in a diner, or not a diner, like a deli.
A restaurant.
Yeah. And they're doing the Who's on First bit with the rapper Ludacris, and I was like, oh my God, I hate you. I hate you so much.
This joke is in somebody's back pocket for 10 years, it felt like.
I was like, okay, I guess I'm done. And then
I know a rapper.
Wow. And then Kyle mentioned that he had watched all of it, and Les mentioned he watched a couple episodes. I had a little time before tonight's episode, so I watched the first episode all the way to the end, and it's a solid pilot.
It really is. Other than that one moment that was kind of cringe, like, oh no. There's a lot more heart to this show. Also, Alan Arkin's a fucking treasure.
Yes.
Holy shit.
My only issue with the first episode, really, other than the Ludacris reference, was that there's not enough Arkin in it.
Yeah.
Because him watching the waiter kid bring his martini.
Yes.
And they just leave the camera on his face. And then, like, a few, oh, for him, you hurry. Like, it's this, he's just this perfect cantankerous.
Yeah.
I think in the second episode they have
Did you say waiter kid, by the way?
Waiter kid.
Like the guy who was 85 years old?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he's ancient. That's right.
But he's tiny.
He's a little old.
I don't know. Everybody next to Michael Douglas looks like a kid. Michael Douglas looks like they put the crystal back in the shard and all the Rolling Stones became one person. There's a shard back in the crystal.
Like a Rolling Stones Megazord.
Yes. I enjoyed this a lot more than I thought I would. I watched two in a row, and it's a little more sad. I was like, okay, that's all of these I want to do in one sitting. Like, I didn't want to binge this.
It was kind of funny. As you mentioned earlier, just got married, and then I popped this in. This is my first TV back with the TV dudes. And then episode 2, spoilers. Sorry, guys.
No, you're good.
Get into it. Alan Arkin loses his wife, and he gives the most sincere speech at the funeral. And I was in tears. I was like, "Oh shit! I just got a wife."
Kyle, I would not recommend watching Up right now.
Oh,
well, and the end of that eulogy introduces the daughter in a clusterfuck manner that leads into the
played
third
by,
episode.
Lisa, what's her face from House?
Cuddy
Elise
from House.
Edelstein.
Yeah.
Oh,
as the dysfunctional daughter who's in and out of rehab.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
But the rest of the funeral. Everybody just hating on Arkin was hysterical. It made for this incredibly, very true. Still very poignant and sad, but really funny funeral.
Well, so the rest of the season, pretty much more of the same. They don't get to kind of a conclusion with Alan Arkin's character. It's the whole time Michael Douglas's character is more or less just kind of figuring out how to be a good friend during this time, while his friend is grieving. They do kind of rely more on some that ludicrous joke level humor at times, and they put Michael Douglas in a romantic situation where he just has a very
with
kind of
Nancy Travis.
Yeah,
I love her.
and it's great, but he does that whole thing where he just has no reason. He's like, "Oh, this isn't right. I'm too old. I can't do this." And it's this makes no sense. Obviously, you're just doing this to create tension. And
you'll understand when you're older, Kyle, why he can't do it anymore.
Actually, they do have a little subplot.
I'm sure they don't let a blue pill joke go unaddressed in this.
Yeah, that's the thing. This show had so much going for it in terms of, wow, this is real situations, having friends die, and then also looking at your own mortality. They didn't need to have Viagra jokes in there, but of course they do.
Chuck Lorre.
Yeah,
they have to.
I know I don't hate Chuck Lorre shows quite as much as the comic book store owner across the table from me right now hates Chuck Lorre shows.
Nobody hates Chuck Lorre shows better than me.
But, they are a safe bet, certain tier of show. The reason that I honestly thought Nancy Travis had fallen off the face of the earth for a decade, she's not. She's been on Last Man Standing. She's been on plenty of popular. I just don't watch them. That one's not a Chuck Lorre show, but that tier of sitcom, I just don't give a shit about.
Television where they get paid.
What was it I heard the other day? Whichever show Kevin James is in, where he has a beautiful wife, he's tired of fucking
every show.
I don't care about those sitcoms.
Yeah. Who does? All the people who voted for Trump.
Ton of people.
Yeah.
So, what is the deal with Hollywood? It feels so self-important of Hollywood that they just have to always dwell on the art, the acting classes, acting coaches, and I'm not sure if they hate them and always want to make fun of them, or they also want to like idolize and revere them.
Yes.
They try to have it both ways because they do this here, they do it in Barry.
Yep.
But
Barry does it a pinch better, but also Barry was next level.
Like, I felt like Barry was clear that they were making fun of Winkler, at least, or like
yeah, but Henry Winkler was genius.
They try to have it both ways so much in Kominsky that for at least the whole first, or until the funeral, really, until Jay Leno actually shows up at the funeral, I wasn't sure if the gag wasn't that Douglas was bullshitting his whole client list. Like, I really wasn't sure that, like, Alan Arkin wasn't a perfectly successful CPA, but with this friend that is still talking about his 1 year in the industry 40 years ago.
No, definitely the funeral, if you can get to that part in the show, that's when it gets real and you really kind of get to see like what they're trying to do with it. Because there is humor in these really depressing, dramatic situations, but you just got to dig a little bit, and something you couldn't do on TBS
But are any of those actors in his class, those understudies, whatever, students, are they good? Because in that first episode, they were atrocious.
Well, they don't, and I'm glad they didn't. I was worried that it was just going to be like a running joke, like let's just back at the ranch, and then the actor kids would. And there's a little bit of that. The guy from
the surfer doofus dude.
Yeah, the surfer doofus dude.
guy.
He tries to do a monologue from like 12 Years a Slave or something like that, where he's a black guy. And then the whole joke is like everybody in the class is offended except the black girl. And then she's like, if you guys don't quit looking at me right now, I'm going to start ripping your throats out.
Yeah, in the first episode, there's this girl that does a Steel Magnolias scene.
Yeah.
And I thought it was terrible when she did it the first time.
Yep.
I thought it was terrible when she did it the second time. And they're talking about how like, oh, this is better
much more
because
raw
of this
and
or that.
honest.
And I'm like, both times I watched it, I was just like, oh.
You know what's great about that? Michael Douglas's response, where they're like, is it good? And he goes, yeah, sure, I guess so.
Yeah, that's the thing. I read that scene as him being like, yeah, you were bad both times.
Yeah. No, but
I mean,
he's
maybe
like,
that's
I want
fair
people
then.
to keep paying for my class. So
Right.
he's like,
Yeah.
great job.
Yeah.
Whatever you need.
Because even when Nancy Travis is talking about it to him, she's like, yeah, just it was a more interesting choice. But she never says that it was any good.
Good choice.
I
Yeah.
just thought that like, all I want to see is Michael Douglas and Alan Arkin. I don't need this whole
Sure,
class
yeah,
of kids.
for sure, yeah,
Yeah, I really want the show, honestly, to be more of a 60-40 to Arkin's character.
yeah, for sure.
There was a great episode where his daughter, who's that
She's
actress?
stealing the show.
She's
Everything
fantastic.
every scene I've seen.
Oh, you're talking about the girl who was on Louie and a bunch of other
Yes,
stuff.
she was on Louie.
Well, there's an episode where he has to run off and she has to teach the class, and she's just dogging on her dad the whole time, and it's pretty great.
Yeah, Sarah Baker. Is
Yeah,
that
when she
actress.
leaves the phone on in the car with Nancy Travis.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Dad already dropped her off. So what'd you think of the date?
Oh man,
That's cute.
So let's jump over to talking about AMC's Little Drummer Girl,
which is pretty much exactly like Kominsky Method.
It
Yeah.
really is.
so
Just about
basically I'm just
acting.
going to copy everything we said and
Yeah.
just paste it right in here.
Yeah,
for
it's
our
the same
review of
exact
this.
show
Yeah.
in so many ways.
Let's talk about this.
Before we talk about it,
Okay.
can I once more say how pissed I am at Sundance that we cannot see Deutschland '86? Because that would have been a perfect companion to this show.
Yes.
And to double down, one of the ads that I kept seeing while watching this on AMC's app
Was
is
for Sundance Now.
Channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, pay for our Sundance Now
And
app so you can watch a bunch of shows that are not Deutschland
I'm noticing on
86.
this commercial, you're not showing me Deutschland. The one show.
The only show I give a shit about that you have, you're not going to put on your app.
We'll get around to it. We'll figure out some way to see it.
I'm just saying, would have been perfect. this
Smuggled
week.
across the wall.
Fuck you, Sundance.
Bootleg.
So explain to us what Little Drummer Girl is.
So Little Drummer Girl is, I would say it's not direct sequel, but it is a thematic sequel. I think Night Manager worked really well for them.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, what other John le Carre books can we do? So John le Carre is a famous spy novelist, and they did Little Drummer Girl,
Which was Little Drummer Boy.
was it Little Drummer Boy?
Thought so.
Okay.
Maybe I'm wrong. I may be wrong on this one, actually. I might ought to look that up.
I've definitely seen the Rankin Bass Little Drummer Boy.
But is directed by the series. All 6 episodes are done by Chan-wook Park, who did Old Boy. And it is about an Israeli sort of spy team that recruit an actress to go inside a terrorist
They're
cell.
trying to
basically.
disrupt a Palestinian terrorist cell, and this
Yeah.
is 70s.
Yes, definitely set in the 70s. Yeah.
So this show hits my favorite time period for doing these kinds of stories. Like, there's just something. It's not like Cold War era.
Oh, yeah, it's the
but-
perfect time
but
for
it's-
espionage stuff.
closer to the 80s, so it doesn't still look like 50s, 60s stuff. Like it feels a little closer to modern and a little seedier.
It feels very Americans.
Yes, I'm really loving this. I've got an hour to go.
I really liked it, but watching these makes me feel super dumb.
You've got to pay attention. I've had to rewind this a couple times to catch the betrayal or the twist or what exactly just happened there. Part of it is the choice of how they indoctrinate her into this role. Mm-hmm. You watch the first couple of episodes and they recruit this actress into this Israeli spy ring. And then is it Michael Shannon that's the head of it
with an accent,
and Alexander Skarsgård, who's her main contact. But then in this Reservoir Dogs kind of way of the scene where he has to keep learning the joke, they do things to make sure that her reactions will be dead on, so that she won't be found out. And some of it involves Skarsgård's character having almost weird dual conversations with her,
sort of programming her basically.
And it's confusing in the moment a couple of times for me, or where I kind of felt dumb. Like, am I not understanding what just happened here? Is he whose side is he on? And he's literally saying things to her so that later on when she's pressed, you can see her drawing back on what you know are real memories. Yeah. She's just omitting whose name it was. But it works for her to have a true memory, and it's really neat. Spycraft in a show. I was afraid that this would be a lot of stylistic flourishes, just because of the pairing of the director with it, and I'm happy to see that it's just gorgeous.
Yeah, his eye for scenes and whoever they have as their cinematographer, it all looks great.
Yeah, the costuming, the color choices.
It's got a tone that kind of reminded me of like the Looming Tower over on Hulu.
Yeah, I can see that.
I also get, of course, Americans, a spy kind of thing going on here. But yeah, I was pretty intrigued by just like visually how they played out scenes and how they let things breathe with the pacing, and then they would ramp up. It's pretty well done.
Yeah, I liked it. I think ultimately it was a little slow for me. I think this is one that I did watch all in the course of a couple of days, whereas with Night Manager, I think I watched it over the course of a few weeks, and I think I probably would recommend that.
That pacing a little more?
Yeah, I would like watch 2 episodes, give it a week to sink back in, and then watch another episode because I think that's better.
Either of you guys watch this on the AMC app?
Yeah, I did.
So I thought it was kind of weird how they did the 2 episodes back to back.
Yeah,
it's chunks.
It's 3 2-episode chunks.
Which
makes very long.
It felt more like a mini series in that way, which was weird because in the first 2 that I watched, there was a clear point where you could end it.
Oh
it didn't need to be put together like that.
Yeah, there's you can see them go to black where there's a seam.
Yeah,
no commercial.
You know where that was where the first episode ended. Yeah. It is a weird production. I think. Again, Night Manager I bought. I didn't watch the app. I bought it and I watched it 1 episode at a time over the course of a few weeks.
Good.
That's how I would watch this. I would watch an episode a week. I think it's weirdly it works better when you have a little more time to digest. But it is really good. It just made me feel kind of dumb.
How do you guys feel about Michael Shannon's accent?
Love Michael Shannon.
I love it.
He's my favorite part of this.
All right, maybe I need to watch a little bit more.
Very compelling.
Oh yeah,
because I first heard the accent and I was like, ooh.
It's super weird, but he's a off-puttingly weird guy. Like, part of what's strange about this for me is the era of spycraft that it's in. You're watching his team not quite want to follow him. Like, they keep looking at him like, no, man, people are getting hurt. Like, I never said people wouldn't get hurt. I said innocent people wouldn't get hurt.
Yeah.
Of course we murdered that guy.
Yeah.
But like in 2018, there were several points where I'm watching these people go in, I cannot believe that your team hasn't already had a like grow the fuck up, we're bad people too.
Right.
But they haven't. Like so there's a lot of moments of like, are we also the good guys? And that's baffling. Like when she gets at one point when their actress finally gets like into training, like with the Palestinians, and you watch some of the Palestinian guys that are like, oh no, the people that brought you here, like who are also with them, like, oh yeah, those people are scum. Like they aren't actually for the cause. Like they're just piece of shit criminal human beings.
Yeah,
and you start to realize like, oh crap. You guys have a moral argument too. You're also taking actions that undercut your moral argument, but currently so are the other guys in this show.
Yeah,
the show is not about showing the equilibrium on both sides of that by any stretch, really. But they do a better job than a lot.
Yeah, Michael Shannon's sort of detached spy master vibe here was really, really good. Like he is a guy who will do what needs to be done to get things done, and he will use whoever he has to use. He will push whatever political pressure. Anything with him and Charles Dance facing off with one another, I would watch more of that. Mm-hmm. That was great. I was always entertained when Michael Shannon was on the screen in this. I think he's absolutely my favorite part. But it's also just a good ensemble cast. I like his whole team, and I liked watching. Was it Florence Pugh go through the questioning herself and whether she wanted to be in this and whose side she was on and all that kind of stuff.
Just
was really
watching her try to not light that cigarette in the car.
Yeah.
I kept laughing at.
Well, I'm excited for this to get 8 seasons, just like The Americans, and I don't watch any of it. But I always say I'm going.
Yeah.
So Randy's breathing loudly.
Be professional, man. Come on.
Come on, Randy. Quit breathing right in the microphone.
I'm going to stop breathing.
Yeah. All right. Hey, guys, it's listener question time. So if you guys like us on Facebook, facebook.com/TV Dudes, once a week, Randy puts up a post and you can ask us literally anything you want.
Yeah, Randy puts it up. I guess that'll stop if he stops breathing.
Yeah, just shh on the breathing. And keep putting those posts up, buddy. And we got a good gaggle of questions this week. I always say gaggle. I don't think that's a proper word.
Gaggle's a proper word. It's a very British word.
For a quantity of questions?
Yeah, gaggle.
Like, look at this gaggle of questions.
Yeah, if it's like 20, it's more than a gaggle. But
I feel like gaggle is for geese.
What if we called it the questions gaggle?
I think this particular gaggle is bad.
Yeah?
It's a bad gag.
It's like a gaggle of gaggling.
Zach McLernan says, Disney now has a 60% controlling stake in Hulu and is planning to have Hulu double down on creating its own content and spread internationally in concert with Disney's overall media strategy. It is rumored to be packaging Hulu with Disney Plus in order to combat Netflix.
Oh, shit.
With Apple coming soon and its own content and Amazon Video buying up property after property, Lord of the Rings, East to West, Invincible, The Wheel of Time, to name a few, has Netflix, who lacks a serious marketing strategy and has been slapdash in its own acquisitions, does it have a chance to still dominate, or will it be absorbed and destroyed by either Disney or Amazon?
Disney has a shot at it. Amazon has no shot, and Netflix is still the 800-pound gorilla everybody's got to beat.
Yeah, I mean, there's another option besides dominance or absorbed. I mean, I think Netflix is going to continue to exist. They may not be number one every single year for the rest of my life,
right?
But I would assume much more that the rest of cable would go away as like, hey, you're the ones with a shitty distribution channel. You guys are now just content creators. We'll buy it from you, we being Apple, Amazon, or Netflix.
Yeah, you know who should be nervous is CBS All Access.
Well, I was going to say an Apple, like, what the hell are they doing, you know? But also, you can't forget, who did Netflix replace? Netflix replaced Blockbuster. Everybody else is just trying to be Netflix.
That's true. Yeah, so 18 years ago, I started my Netflix account.
Yeah.
Wow.
Getting DVDs in the mail?
Yeah. Like, they're not going away.
Nope.
Like, they'll figure out another thing to do, and then 6-7 years after that, Disney will start their own of that.
I mean, here's the other thing, though. I on the flip side, if Netflix goes 3 or 4 years without producing another Stranger Things or one of the other thousands of Hill House,
none of us even knew Stranger Things was going to drop until the week it came out, though.
If somehow their executives start missing and they don't have anything, then they could go away in 4 or 5 years. But there's no indications that's going to happen.
You know, the one thing that could screw them, though, is that right now they have Disney content on there. If they get all of that taken away,
none of that matters.
No, they're going to be fine.
So?
Honestly, something to cause them to tighten up ship is great.
Yeah. No,
they're acquisition crazy. Like, they haven't had to worry about it. They're just trying to see if they can get a U.S. audience to watch subtitles.
Their Disney content is their weakest content. The Marvel stuff, that's not great.
Yeah, and as soon as they're already hitting international audiences.
Yeah.
But there's so much room for expansion for them.
Yeah.
And people will want what they're providing because,
Yeah.
I mean, we're all raving about their original content.
But the thing that he didn't talk about too much other than to mention it was that I hadn't heard is the rumor of Hulu and Disney Plus being together.
I think that's awesome.
That'd be great because I don't have to pay for both of them.
Yeah, but man, Disney, what the fuck? I mean, this is a monopoly. It's not, but it's
So all
really
it'll
getting
take is
dangerous,
all it'll
right?
take is an Amazon deal making CBS All Access and DC one of like two of their channels that are included
Yeah.
in Prime or
Yeah,
something,
we'd be
or
good.
Netflix taking CBS All Access into it.
Yeah.
All it will take is Amazon making at least one good show.
Yep. Well, they
Come on,
They
Amazon.
got the Lord of the Rings property.
They're gonna mess it up.
Marvelous Mrs. Maisel
People
was
will
good.
still watch it.
They got the Grand Tour.
Not that good.
I mean, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s going to run until 2020. People will watch it.
I don't see people lining up out the door for the
Lord of the
Marvelous Miss Maisel.
That's true. That's true.
If you set her in Middle Earth, it might.
Actually, wait. Jack Ryan. Jack Ryan kicked ass.
Jack Ryan was
Ryan
a
was-
solid show.
It was
Yeah.
solid, but
Yep.
But it's like
Amazon
Ray
is-
Donovan solid. I don't think it's going to make the
Yeah.
network.
Amazon has produced numerous solidly produced shows.
Yeah,
Right.
they need a Game
Noth-
of Thrones.
They got nothing great. Yeah.
Michael Gistini says, "Hey dudes, recently Supergirl had a particularly great episode that was a flashback dedicated to setting up the season's villain. The result? I'm actually kind of rooting for him to succeed, even if his goals are reprehensible. Has there ever been a time where you watched a show and found yourself feeling more sympathetic for the bad guy than the hero? Either because the villain is more sympathetic, charismatic, or simply just has a valid point if you put yourself in their shoes. And I'm not talking about anti-heroes like Walter White or Vic Mackey. I mean, out-and-out villain.
I do want to mention villains on both the shows he just mentioned. Gus Fring is a villain,
Yeah.
but I respect that dude. Like
He's got a tight methodology.
I was like, you know what? Walter White is just as murderous and a little slapdash. Like Fring kills people when he needs to.
yeah.
I was like, I totally
And he also makes meth that is just
Yeah.
destroying
sure,
communities.
you know, well, it's Arizona, whatever. And
He could also make chicken. What else could Walt do?
on the Shield, Anthony Anderson's character, I've forgotten the name of his character. He's like a gang lord. I loved that character. I think it's my favorite thing that Anthony Anderson's played, and he was a guy where I'm like, oh, this is a guy smart enough to actually, deal with Vic Mackey, and I really enjoyed watching him outfox Vic Mackey for a while.
I think Thanos has got a point.
Yeah, sure.
I mean,
Death's hot.
finite amount of resources, just snap and cut people in half. Yeah,
Right, or make a lot of wheat, whatever.
Sure. Can he just make more?
He can kill half the universe. I'm pretty sure he can just make food.
Yeah, that seems like one of the earlier Stones. Like you could have stopped short and fed
Yeah.
everybody.
I feel like this conversation, it was kind of being told on The Good Place last week.
Yeah.
The Flash villain from I think last season was last
Thinker?
season the Thinker.
Thinker, yeah.
Until his last little turn where he got to be an emotionless psycho and kind of betrayed his original love motive. For the most of the season, I didn't like the plan he was going to do was awful, and he's clearly the villain. Like his ends don't do, but I got his motivation. I liked his motivation. I felt bad for him in a way that I don't always on shows that set up a comic book villain.
Yeah.
Benjamin Linus on Lost was introduced as he was supposed to be a short-term villain, but he was so immediately charismatic that he became
Henry Gale?
a regular, a series regular. And then they kind of transformed him a little bit into sort of this
I felt straight bad for him when the island didn't pick him.
anti-villain. I don't know what you call it, an anti-villain.
When he had to turn that stupid fucking wheel, I
Yeah.
felt straight bad for him.
Yeah, right?
Like you put your whole service to this island, and the island didn't give you shit. You're the John the Baptist in this Jesus story.
Also, Patrick Warburton played Johnny Johnson in News Radio.
That's right, Jimmy James' nemesis.
And he was Jimmy James' nemesis, but he was the nicest guy, and he was great. And he became Lisa's true love. Like,
That's right.
There's a great bit where, like, Dave is trying to convince everyone he's evil, and they finally get him, and he's like, yeah, you're right. I'm evil. And it's like with this big old bring it in hug kind of thing. It's amazing.
I assume on Supergirl that he's talking about the Agent Liberty setup episode where they take a guy from a college professor that's telling his racist dad to chill about the alien roaches talk, and then you watch basically a clip show of the season finales of the previous seasons happen on the news, like on the family TV, as the dad's like, "No, see now the plant's blown up," and the dad is just a racist jackass who's xenophobic and refusing to learn a new skill or do anything to help himself. But you watch enough of that every day, combined with like act of God shitty, just hey man, bad stuff happens to people, and you kind of watch it all come together in this like, oh, that's how you became a racist college professor that is like talking people into a fucking terrorist group.
Wait, they're using Agent of Liberty? Is that like the actual character?
Yeah,
that's a deep cut from Superman. I'm impressed.
And so yeah, the Children of Liberty are who their big thing is against us. And so they took an episode and showed how somebody would become radicalized.
Interesting.
Like this is how disaffected middle-aged white dudes become radicalized, and that's the fucking villain of Supergirl this year.
Interesting.
Real quick, I'll also say Mags Bennett from second season of Justified, and the Trinity Killer from Dexter, the fourth season. Man, what a great villain. I was rooting for him because I'm like, John Lithgow.
Yeah.
You scum. You're fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Alec Miracle says, dudes, not a question, but a follow-up statement to last week's post. Starting January 6th, I'll have a fresh-ish new TV schedule with one show a day. This is why I have fixed this schedule and why I want to finish the other shows by New Year's.
Man.
So I can start fresh in order starting from Sunday through Saturday. True Detective Season 3 and Oz Season 2. Binging the entirety of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Doctor Who Season 2.
There's a couple of these that I don't understand them cramming onto the list. Like, just don't do that.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Why? Why would anyone binge the entirety of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
I completely forgot there was a third season of True Detective. I didn't know that was still going.
Well, it's coming out. It hasn't come out yet.
It hasn't come out yet? Okay. I was like, did that happen? And I just forgot because I don't really
Ali's
care.
in it. It looks great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Doctor Who Series 2. The Wire Season 4. That's going to be a great one. Binging a series of unfortunate events. Binging Shameless and Deadwood Season 3.
Yeah, Shameless and Deadwood I go with. I couldn't do Lemony Snicket.
I don't understand how the same person can enjoy The Wire Season 4 and binge the entirety of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't understand that at all.
We're all different flavors of ice cream, Randy.
That's not ice cream. That's like shitty yogurt.
That's ice cream with Cheetos in it.
There's a lot of froyo in this good place.
Alec, I'm going to do you a huge favor. You just free up yourself from the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Don't do it.
You just free yourself up. Don't watch it.
Here's the thing. Alec is going to love it. He's going to love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He's going to be going...
throw down the Patreon money to make us...
Him and EJ are going to be like, we're going to like quadruple our donation, and this is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. month now. Or some
you're
shit.
going to be talking about.
I'm kidding, guys. That's not a real thing you can do.
Don't do that. Oh, my God.
Please don't do this to
If you could see my thought balloon, it was me putting a gun in my mouth. That's awful.
Well, that was actually... I handed you a gun.
Oh, that's true.
It's a real gun, Randy. Be careful with that.
Oh, don't breathe. Or else.
Don't breathe and open your mouth. That's good.
Now keep posting.
Jonathan Hupnagel says, hello, mystical, magical TV dudes. I love Harry Potter. Hey, I love him too. The flaws of the new movie were not enough to prevent my enjoyment. It just felt nice to be back in that universe and get to explore it in new ways. It does feel a bit like fan fiction, which sort of inspired this week's question. Real quick, Kyle, you just saw this Grindelwald monstrosity.
Yeah, it was pretty awful.
You do not agree with
it was
this
more
estimation.
crimes than anything?
No lie. They shot like 4 awesome scenes with Eddie Redmayne riding on cool creatures, and then they just... all the other shit's just in there. And it just kind of puts these 4 like set pieces together. It's bad.
I don't know if this is true, but I heard that like he does like maybe at best like one thing that might be considered a crime, maybe 2. Not really many crimes going on with this guy.
Yeah, like...
And this is the one they swapped actors, right? They swap... Is Johnny Depp...
Johnny Depp's still in it.
Yeah, Johnny Depp, they kind of did like a whole...
But wasn't Colin Farrell...
Yeah,
Grindelwald?
and then the twist at the end was Colin Farrell is actually Johnny Depp.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But no, it's bad, yeah.
That's the crime.
The question is, what TV shows should take place within the same universe as Harry Potter? In the same way that Flash and Arrow take place in the same universe, despite their different tones. If the magic and creatures of Harry Potter bumped into the plot of your favorite TV show, what would you like to have happen?
I'm just going to get this out of the way. The gang goes to Hogwarts.
Man, come on.
That's done. We can move on now. But someone was going to do it, and I need to bring it up. Now we can move on.
Randy, every time we get this question, your go-to
because it's the best.
Sunny.
Tell me that wouldn't be amazing.
If it's not Terriers, it's always Sunny.
Yeah, but let's just get past that. I just want to get that out there.
I think the Dick Wolf Law and Order universe.
Oh my God! Yeah. Oh yes.
Homicide, all of it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Cop
There's
shows.
actually muggles and magic.
Yeah, and that it's all been happening the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
It just never crosses over. Like the Wizarding World has done an exceptional job of just keeping Cherry Orbach and Chris Noth and all of them from ever noticing this shit.
Yeah. I would watch that.
I think tonally, the Misfits universe would be fantastic. It'd be something to where, like, the Hogwarts
Just
kids,
a bunch of kids that didn't
they
get
got
into
in trouble,
Hogwarts.
and then they had to do, like, Muggle community service, so they're, like, stuck at the same place. So when some crazy shit goes down, and then it's, like, magic and their superpowers.
Unsolved Mysteries with Robert Stack. All the unsolved mysteries are actually just magical.
Or To Catch a Predator. It's just Death Eaters keep showing up. I thought we were going to kill a kid here.
Okay, last question comes to us from a Mr. Mike Moody, who says, new Spock, is he hotter than Les? Yes or no?
He's younger than me.
Okay, I'm going to say that
got
new
those ears.
Spock is an ugly, disgusting looking dude, and he's hotter than Les.
Fair enough. He's got the ears.
How does he sound, though? Because Les's sexiness all
logical,
comes from
Grant.
his voice.
Man, Les, I mean, I don't know. You grow this kind of wispy beard like this? Maybe.
Yeah, if I was Elfin in 20, how old is that kid?
New cosplay for you,
Right?
here.
Yeah.
That guy looks like he does heat miser yoga. He just sweats all day
guys,
into that beard.
Listeners, weigh in. This is a sexy looking Spock. Is this the way Spock should go?
I've heard him called Daddy Spock.
Oh no!
God, no.
Yep.
By who? Your fanfic?
Yeah. It's a thing I'm working on. You promote when you promote. You keep promoting, Grant.
Hey, if you guys want to check out Randy's
Daddy
weird
Live long and perfect.
STD,
Hashtag Daddy Spock.
Daddy Spock. Folks, we're gonna wrap things up here. This is the end of the episode. We want to say thank you guys so much for checking us out and keep spreading the good word. Make sure to like us on Facebook so you can ask us questions. And hey, if you guys want to help us out, patreon.com/tvdudes. We'll be back next week. What are we talking about?
I don't remember.
Me neither, but we'll be back with
Shows.
Television shows.
TV.
Our end of year is coming up. We're working on our best of.
I'm excited for that.
By the way, Daddy Spock is in the Harry Potter universe.
Man, TV Dude's out. The TV Dudes is an independently run podcast and a member of the Electric Sweater Podcast Network. We are exclusively listener supported. If you'd like to help us out, go to patreon.com/tvdudes. You can like us on Facebook and Twitter @tvdudes. All the music for our show is by our friend and original TV dude, Gregory J. Amani Smith. To find out more about us, go to thetvdudes.com and electricsweater.com. I'm Grant Davis. Thanks for listening.